Good morning, good morning. Thought I'd, hey, y'all, family, what's up? It's Carol Root, potential family. Hope that, I can enlighten you, uh, aha moment, confirmation, participating, or just listening. Bobby Hemmett, beyond, moving beyond metaphysics into occult wisdom. I thought we could listen to
If you
that.
got hit, even as a passenger or in an Uber, you would need to try this.
But listen to Miss Brain explain. This was in 98. Trenton. Okay, let's see. I looked it up. Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that deals with the first principles of things, including abstract concepts such as being, knowing, substance, cause, identity, time and space, the nature of reality existence, and the universe, and what is and the why. Okay.
When you come to them humble now, because we're talking about we're talking about a God grown again. We did that for thousands of years. So now I use the voices. As a matter of fact, I was in Indianapolis. I woke up that morning, it was raining. I called up Oya, I called up, but I said, now wait a minute. Now y'all fucking niggas know that black people ain't gonna come out if it's raining. Now what in the hell are y'all assholes making this shit rain when you know damn well we working for you too? We're all in this together. Shit. And sure enough, as soon as I said that the rain stopped, the sun came out, and sure enough, right after I got through, the rain poured down like crazy. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, the energy is out there now, but it needs someone to channel it. That's what our role is. That was ordained for us in the last days to get your power. That's the same thing that I was talking about last night, where Christ comes and takes the force of Satan, which is the raw power energy, and he uses that. He's using that particular power because he's conquered that power. So the key is that's not necessarily true. I don't want to fuck with no damn spirits that can't get in front of no damn camera and shit based on electromagnetic force fields, because based on the stuff what's getting ready to go down, we need some real deal power to kick his ass when it all go down. So the ones I call on, they better come and do this shit right. You know, and based on that, we're talking about a chain of command, and we're also talking about going back to see the movie Last Dragon. The man was always looking for the master in the movie, and come to find out he was the master. You see what I'm saying? So that's the key right now. That's the key right now. We get too much respect for the ancestors, and the ancestors ain't nothing but a damn nigga that lost the body. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? And some of them are confused too. Don't let nobody fool you. Some of our ancestors and some of the gods are lost because they are random energies in an abandoned zoo. And the only reason why how they ever get to the particular point where they're directed the right way is you got to conceive of it and you got to line it up, because the simple fact that's our task. So therefore we do it on the thing. Plus you got to realize this particular part. If you put the libations on the video and a person's in the house somewhere in Alabama watching the actual video, this particular libations can also electrify his house and give him the energy right in the crib. You see what I'm saying? And that person might have a revelation. You see, because people listen to the video with the libations and went in and had doggone multiple dreams and lucid dreams. You see what I'm saying? So we're talking about all of that particular stuff is archetypes of the collective unconsciousness, but we are taught based on the ancestors, because that was the last cycle. The last cycle was, you know, we worship, and we don't worship shit. We are the goddamn ancestors, because I'm going to show you something. Guess where the ancestors go when they leave your body? They go and live inside of you. They live inside of you. That's where your ancestors are. Each man has his own universe, and when the ancestors go, they live inside of you. So when you speak to ancestors, you're only magnifying your own power. You're only magnifying
Good
your own
morning,
power
Mr.
because
Rank.
they are
What's up?
all in a part of you. We're talking about the same substance. The same substance. And time out for all this old righteousness and beautiful and all that old fucked up shit, old African shit, the same old, all this here beautiful and praise be to it's wartime now. So fuck the white man and fuck any asshole that don't want to get down with the show. You see, and I'm only telling you what the Legbar told me and the damn Orishas. They said, man, we can't help you no more. That was in 95. I said, what? It was 96. I said, we cannot help you anymore. Because you are dependent on us and you're looking at us as an objective entity outside of your own self. Until you come to us like you come to your brothers on the corner, don't come to us. And what was that? That was a way of teaching me.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
You understand that we are all the same pattern. So at this particular time, I don't try to give the type of respect to the ancestors no more than I give the same people in this room. That's why I say, hey, if you pouring libations, if we trying to be one with the gods, you understand what I'm saying, or one with the forces, it's kind of stupid to exclude the forces when we're the same damn forces and the forces is inside of us. You understand what I'm saying? You on the video, so they be on the video. And so you got to start looking at these things as random forces of energy, no different than bleach, Ajax, washing powder, gasoline, gunpowder. You understand what I'm saying? A nigger knocker, a whipstick, or whatever you want to call the shit. You got to look at it that way, and you are the one that's in control of that thing, because you are the Heru, the warrior. And you harness their energy, not the ancestors, oh, protect me, oh, it's all about you. You see what I'm saying? See, the Europe and all that stuff blew that out of proportion for the simple fact that when they were in the mystery schools, they understood at the particular time because they had a mystery system in West Africa, just like you had the one in East Africa. They understood that ultimately the initiate first comes in, and the initiate comes in and he learns all about the gods and all this type of stuff. When he gets to a certain age, about 30, they come in and say, hey, look, them gods you've been worshiping, they you. Are they gods just like you? And he has to deal with the point, if he's going to become a god and be one like God, he has to identify with them, and he has to literally take the next 10 years of his life to erase this whole thing based on him being separated from the gods. But after the priests had to go up underground based on the generation and based on colonization and based on wars, they went up underground, and so therefore the mystery, the higher component died out, and the regular people just started worshiping the entities. So about the law, this and all that kind of thing, which is 7 major deities, 7 chakras. There's how many hundred other major deities? Deities. You got chakras and glands, and it's all nothing but the mechanism of your own body. But they lost that magic. So now we got all the new Egyptians and everybody calling on Osiris and all that. They ain't doing nothing but calling on their own damn self. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get out of this whole Christianized, Judeo-Christian mentality. You understand what I'm saying? And the way we view these Kamite deities, they are formulas. But they are not just formulas outside of you, they are your formulas. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you, Master.
They're your formulas and all. And that's the point about it, why people not being trained that much in the occult to understand this particular stuff. You got to push the envelope to the point whereas you got to stop making it an objective entity outside of yourself. You see, so my thing based on what I know, and I know how this shit works. You see what I'm saying? I know how this stuff works. You got to doggone include them as a part of you. So therefore, we will pull libations on the damn camera in the goddamn bathroom. I'm on the damn toilet. I call on the shit. Well, I thought about saying, damn, this is kind of a foul place to call up Ogun. I said, wait a minute, motherfucker, I'm Ogun. I'm sitting on Ogun and taking a damn shit.
Cecilia. I don't know a girl named Cecilia.
See? And we got to constantly, and this is a hard thing because we got to constantly deal with this because we've had thousands of years of worshiping. And it's very lonely without a God.
Cecilia Briones.
Above you, whereas
I call her Chinchilla.
I
don't know why.
That you are actually the agent carrying out God's work. So it's very lonely when you don't have something to bow down to. It's very lonely. So therefore, it's no different than moving out of the house the first time.
What that mean?
And be by your damn self. You move out with some friends, you can get through it. But by yourself, you move out of the house the first time, it's very lonely when you ain't got no, when your mom and daddy ain't around. Well, it's the same hierarchy when it comes to the God realm. You are now adults. You are now adults. And you don't supposed to pray to them, you supposed to demand. And you got to demand seriously, just like you ever got mad at a person? You get mad and grit your doggone teeth? That's power. You see what I'm saying? You supposed to demand this and that happen, but don't demand on no bullshit, because that's not what the energy is for. So don't demand to have no damn fur coat. But I'm saying I demand for my fucking lights not to get cut off.
Let me remind you.
Hello.
My captain's as tough as they come.
You see what I'm saying? And you got to literally demand these things, because you're using the same forces. You see what I'm saying? Don't pray to them. Quit praying. You see what I'm saying? Quit praying. So we call on them and all, but that's the same energy, and that's the thing we have to drive home, because we don't get it. We are the gods who are to come is our own self. That's what the whole Christ mechanism is all about. You see what I'm saying? There is no God but man, because man is the acting agent of God. It's something like God is called the
Thank you,
nothingness.
Master. Appreciate you.
It has
Thank
all
you.
the potential in the world. But without a plug or without a machine that actually takes the electricity and turns it into something, it's just what you call stagnant. You see, it's not connected. So we are the agent, or what you would call the perfecting agent of God, of the nothing. So therefore, we don't supposed to be bound down to the nothingness, because the nothingness put itself in motion as us to do what the hell it wants. But somehow in his journey to do what he wants, he got hit in the damn head, and the other part got separated, the other part looking back thinking that's God, and it's the same damn shit. It's like being in the same house, wanting to get to another part of the doggone house, but the door is closed and you thinking the house is totally separate. You thinking the house you want to be is down the street, but it's just a door away. You see, so that's what we have to deal with at this particular time, is becoming, and it's almost, it's a therapeutic, psychological thing on what you have to deal with on that particular level. Once I got above that, now I do what the fuck I want to do. I want to scratch my ass, I scratch my ass. You understand what I'm saying? I purposely do things out of the moralistic realm, including thoughts. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what we're talking about, the same force. That force that hit Jamaica the other damn night ain't got no shit to drop about no Bible, about no moralism, what I want to do. This type of stuff, it hit Jamaica and killed ass. Well, that's the same force that's inside of us, and that's what we got to understand. And until we realize that, the white man understands. That's what moralism and slave religions are about. They keep you from your higher self. And your higher self is called the monstrous soul. That's what it is. All the monsters you see on the monster movie, that's us. Ridley Scott went over to Europe and made a whole movie called The Alien. Alien 1 through 4. And that alien you see is us. You see, is us. He got it from the Necronomicon, and Ridley Scott was a member of the Crawleys OTO. And that whole alien thing.
All right.
And so, but when you see the alien, you're terrified, because the alien see you, you dead. Ain't no, let's figure this shit out. Ain't no playing no cards. Ain't no compromise. You dead. You understand? He got that over in Europe when he went over and saw the man's work. What's the guy name? He did he created the stuff for Species too. H. Geiger. H.G. Geiger. And he saw his works, and he took the adaptation of his work and made Alien from it, because H. Geiger went over and helped him on the set to make the alien thing. But you see how the alien was? Was no shit. He saw you, you died. Well, that's talking about the monstrous soul of the black man. You saw it bleed the acid in the alchemical text. They say the philosopher's stone of God, which is melanin, is the most perfect acid. You see, so this is what this stuff is actually dealing with, and this is the level we have to get to at this particular time, because we got too many damn charlatans, we got too many preachers, and we got that, but we don't have enough people that is
Oh, really?
demonic.
I ain't did that in years, child.
It's not
I
demonic
used to do it and
as
get
far
paid
as you,
for it. I don't do that
The
no more.
white man's devil. This is how he views you. You get where I'm coming from? He's scared of you because he understands that you have a certain warrior energy.
I don't
And you
do
know
that no
what?
more.
This is the key. This is one thing that they don't let you know. Do you know that there's no text in Egypt, Samaria, Greek, Babylon, or none of the ancient world that talk about Christ being some Jesus loved the little children, all that love shit. All of the Christ, from Hercules to Harvest to Dionysus to all of that is killers. Bottom line. So when the Romans fashioned this docile bitch and gave it to the people, say this is the Hebrew Christ, the Hebrews or the Jews at that particular time said, hell no, that ain't the Christ. Remember, that came out of Egypt. They said, no, the thing that's coming at the end of the days is a killer. You see, is a killer. It is the predator. They said, no, this is not it. They said, this is not the Christ. Not no motherfucker talking about love and little babies and lambs and all that old bullshit. They took alchemical symbology and made a little pussified, punctified little old doggone man walking around. That's Paul and Josephus.
This settlement check completely changed my life, and it came from a car accident I almost forgot about. I never imagined something this big could come.
You don't find that shit beyond nobody else. You don't find that beyond, or you don't find that before that particular period of time. And that's a political shit to control a group of people around the world. You see what I'm saying? With all that old bullshit, you got that doctrine and all this kissing and hugging and all that shit. The Christ energy is a destructive, demonic force that's supposed to come back in the last days to fuck the universe. And literally the entire universe. They say when the gods see him up there, they bow down to it. You see what I'm saying? And it's right there in the Bible if you look at it. But all this other little old doctrine is political, social, economical, and slavery. And that's what Paul did because he was under the authority of the Roman government and the church. And the Romans wanted to take a religion that they can put on people to make people bow down. So they had to take all of the warrior principles and make it into some old punctified ass sucker. So, let's go. All right. Yeah. I'm in Ra. I say Khan. I say Ba. I say Ab. I say Kahu. I say Ku. I say Sahu. I say Khan. I say Captain. I say Second. I say Osir. I say Soot. I say Soot. I say Soot Nephi. I say Soot Nubit. I say Apit. I say Apep. I say Nuke. I say Amin Rintensa. I say Osir Kinti Aminti. I say Azazel. I say Azathos. I say Shuk Nigarop. I say Cthulhu. I say Yosatos. I say Hestar. I say Great Old Ones. I say Great Ones. I say Deep Ones. I say Dagon. I say Dogon. I say Ama, I say Nama, I say Ba, I say Na, I say Ku, I say Nomo, I say Yugaru, I say Yugaru, I say Yugaru, I say Kuntu, I say Digitarius stages, I say Uzimu, I say Buzimu, I say Muzimu, I say Camera, I say Kingu, I say Camera, I say Muzimu, I say Marambo, I say Marimki, I say Muzimu, I say Fo, I say Do, I say Seldo, I say Jodo, I say Fo, I say Yi, I say Mawa, I say T, I say Mama Lisa, I say Nekba, I say Akarapan, I say Okra, I say Natra, I say Sansaman, I say Melampo, I say Sansam, I say Akarapan, I say Kimi, I say Sansaban, I say Hera, I say Apollo, I say Hercules, I say Prometheus, I say Titans, I say Kronos, I say Rhea, I say Uranus, I say Sephra, I say Ain, I say Ain, I say Ain I say Keba, I say Shakma, I say Bina, I say Da, I say Chess, I say Gebera, I say Temperate, I say Natsat, I say Yaset, I say Malkuth, I say Genea, I say Kalipos, I say Metatron, I say Medaratan, I say Mescaline, I say Melchizedek, I say Sidek, I say Sutek, I say Baal Zephin, I say Baal Zephin, I say Aether, I say Colios, I say Magnetar, I say Jupiter, I say Mars, I say Helios, I say Venus, I say Mercury, I say Diana, I say Rhea, I say Ceres, I say Aethers, I say Uranus, I say Rhea, I say Zeus, I say, I'm gonna scratch that. Aries, I say Apollo, I say Aphrodite, I say Hermes, I say Tahuti, I say Artemis, I say Demeter, I say Heru Raha, I say Ra Heru Kahudi, I say Heru Ha, I say Harpocrates, I say Mim, I say Pata, I say Amin-Ra, I say Amin-Rinthensar, I say Anuf, I say Adam-Ra, I say Adam-Berdi, I say Oguparelli, I say Abraxas, I say Mithra, I say Ma'at, I say Mut, I say Sut, I say Heheru, I say Anpu, I say Anush, I say Anunnaki, I say Osea, I say Nephert, I say Yima, I say Odin, I say Frigga, I say Balder, I say Laki, I say Thor, I say Freya, I say Fire, I say Silk, I say Nephthys, I say Brahmin, I say Shakti, I say Shiva, I say Kali, I say Babini, I say Vishnu, I say Ramachandra, I say Shiva, I say Sita, I say Hanuman, I say Jinsaya, I say Lakshmi, I say Layla, I say Lily too, I say
Okay.
Leah, I say Allah, I say Yamawala Wado, I say Bridget, I say Marasha, I say Papagade, I say Odumbredi, I say Ogufarelli, I say Ogusego, I say Azuli, I say Legba, I say Ishu, I say Enuedo, I say Zaka, I say Babaluaye, I say Ife, I say Loa, I say Oshofi, I say Olakun, I say Olaroon, I say. Okay. Olafi, I say Obatala, I say Odudawa, I say Aruna, I say Ogun, I say Shango, I say Oshun, I say Legba, I say Yiminya, I say Orisha Oku, I say Oya, I say. All right, you more. Get it going on. But you do have the copies of this that you can Xerox and give to people when they want. Okay then. So you can step by here and get these if you want them. Okay. Ami Tutu, I say Ani Tutu, I say Ili Tutu, I say Tutu Leba, I say Kosi Ka, I say Kosi Arun, I say Kosi Ipo, I say Kosi Opo, I say Imtana, I say Kosi Basaba, I say Baka Akababa Waya, I say Tayamat, I say Babylon, I say Labu, I say Inanna, I say Kosi Ka, I say Kosi Imtana, I say Kosi Opo, I say Kosi Iyo, I say Kosi Basaba, I say Akababa Waya, I say Moto Obo Alapi, I say Moto Obo Ipu, I say. Got a little more in here. Moko Ojo Itutu, I say, Moto Obo Iku, I say, Nila Nabali, Olabari, Olagoon, I say, Ikamasi, Ogo, Ilasa, I say, Babalasa, Ogo, Ilasa, I say, Ilikamasi, I say. Okay, well, that's that. We could do the ancestors
Nah,
now.
I don't like to read
It
today.
was okay.
For the last 40-something years, I don't like what it do to people.
We just call out the names.
I wait till I get my land and I grow my own. Get some seeds from the 70s.
Let's see, Amsu Min, I say Tayyik, I say Minivis, I say Mintu, I say Satis, I say Tutanin, I say Upwarit, I say Kor, I say Gargan, I say to all gods known and unknown, I say. Now start calling out your ancestors. 1, 2, 3. Call out your ancestors. Let's see, the Hemming family, the Shaw family, the Davis family, I say. Ginger's family, I say. 1, 2, 3. Start calling them out. I say. I say. Holler them out. I say. 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 To all gods known and unknown. To all ancestors known and unknown. I say. Yeah, plus, you got people that want to learn the libations. They might want to know how the ceremony goes. So the tape teaches them how that goes, you know. So it's very key that you got to understand that we're doing this also to teach the people and not necessarily all the time just for the crew that's in the actual lecture. And I know that for a fact. Out of 100 videos, a lot of this stuff, and it's interesting because when I first started lecturing, about a year after that, I went to Tennessee for the first time.
If your child has used Roblox, you might be owed significant compensation from a lawsuit currently underway.
And brother was coming out to the car and they were speaking and we was having a conversation. I hadn't even gotten out the car good and the people was talking to me and my brother said, you know, that video is some powerful shit. That white man messed up when he made that. But the simple fact, these people act like they know you all your life. And for the simple fact that we were speaking knowledge, it was almost like I knew them all my life. And it's interesting because when I go around the country, all the conscious people, it's like I'm in the same place all the time. Which is cool because we're talking about synchronicity. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm in Indianapolis, it's the same crew of people. New York is the same crew of people. Atlanta is the same crew of people. South Carolina. And it's almost like the audience never changes. And although faces are new, it's talking about a certain energy that we draw, which the white boy don't count on because the masses of the people, he think he's got this shit beat. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna Give a shout out to Terrence Johnson again, which is the brother that was in the GQ article. I promise you, if you the GQ article, if you didn't know about it, we'll leave this article behind. But if you don't come to ask me anything, please come by and ask for this article. Because we're going to Xerox one tomorrow or whatever, and I'm going to leave it behind, and then that way you can get them run off about 100 copies. And even if you just give them out, and get this this brother and hear this brother's story. The brother took himself out, which was good because he's now an ancestor. So I'm going to pour a good shout out of water to him. Well, we just say, give him a good shake, Terrence Johnson. You see, so now we got this on the side, and I'm quite sure that he don't love the government and all, because he spent 15 years in the actual jail for killing 2 police officers when he was 15 because they was beating him in the cell, and he took out the gun and shot him because they was gonna kill him. So that lets you know that's a warrior spirit also. And so we want to give that. Also, we want to give a shout out. We dedicate this lecture to both to him as well as Amos Wilson, because I don't think that he's got a good send away as John Henry Clark did. But as you see, like you say, his new book is out, and it's unbelievable, the blueprint to Black Power, which is, you have several Black Power books, but basically they just discussed, most of the books that discuss the problem. His book is an excellent book to deal with the actual problem on the mundane while we're still in the mundane. You see, so his book is, we can say this is a lifelong work, and I believe they took the brother out because of this. You see, because I happen to know something about people that's doing the work. If I get a cut on my hand, 3 days later, I can look up and the whole shit is regenerated. That means if you got an entity in you or the energy in you and you're doing the work for the people, you don't die. You don't die. You only come down with cancer if you start bullshitting the people and start getting over on the people. You see what I'm saying? So if you got a certain work that's coming out, your spirit is going to make sure that it keeps the body to par. I don't care what you do. Your spirit is going to make sure, because the spirit knows that you cannot, that this work has to come out to the people. That's why John Henry Clark and all those people were very old. You see what I'm saying? Lived to a good age. Dr. Ben's still kicking. That's because they were needed for the people. You see what I'm saying? So if you walk out in front of a car, the car won't hit you. You see? So, but the point is, I know for the simple fact that this brother's working on a major work. You see what I'm saying? And we only have a few of them. Even if they wishy-washy, it don't matter. There's only a few people out here working for our people. And we all got problems, so therefore, you don't die. That is the gurus. You see? So the mere fact that he came down with a damn stroke, that means that the crackers took his ass out. You see? They took him out. So therefore, they killed the brother. You see what I'm saying? So that's very key that we understand that. So let's go into some things right now. Like I said, also now the father of the occult, they taught all these white people this stuff, is P.B. Randolph, Pascal Beverly Randolph. So you can get his particular book. The Sunny State University in New York just put out his particular book, P.B. Randolph, or Pascal Beverly Randolph. He is the father of this stuff, and he was a black man that traveled with Abraham Lincoln, and Blavatsky and them had something to do with his death, because the brother killed himself. But I think in actuality, these occult forces that was working against him at the time, he was the only brother out here, they needed his work. And so therefore, when the brother took himself out, they ran and got all his papers, Blavatsky and the rest of them. So Pascal Beverly Randolph is the father of the occult. At least we're talking about the 19th century on into the 20th century, this shit that we're dealing with now. You see. Even Crawley, who started the OTO, which is everybody's big Crawley thing, Crawley revived the OTO, Ordo Templar Orients, from this particular organization. Pascal Beverly Randolph, P.B. Randolph, started the organization. So you can get his book, but there's also the book, get the book Mask of the Illuminati, which is a very key book, because it's got all this particular information about how the occult is run and how the secret society is run, but it's written in novel form. But it is probably more authentic than a Bill Cooper and all that, because this guy here is a part of the OTO, Robert Anton Wilson. You see what I'm saying? And probably a part of the Illuminati. So therefore, it's a more authentic book, Mask of the Illuminati, which he also deals with Pascal Beverly Randolph in there and tells about this particular brother, which is like one of the chief people that white people are up under. You see, so this is very key. So State University of New York put out this guy's bibliography recently. So he ain't no slowpoke or some kind of half-ass that they're going to put out a book this thick on the brother because they're trying to redo the right. You see, redo the wrong. You see, that's the way they do it. You know, in the last days of prophesizing, they would apologize. Just like this show on slavery that they just had. I don't know if it came on up here. Africans in America.
Never ever sue the driver who crashed into you after a car accident. There's a better way to get compensated that's faster.
Bullshit. You know, but it was, and you would think that they was real sensitive about white people. So the white person never really seemed like the oppressor. But then again, Rockefeller did it. You see what I'm saying? McDonald's and all these big-time Jews did this shit. So you understand that in actuality, we tell our own story. Nothing about the Moors, nothing about the Caribbean, nothing about Africa, basically African and American in America. But basically it was real conservative. A fucking damn white child in suburbia of 10 years old could watch the shit and don't even be disturbed. And then the thing about it is what made it so bad, they kept having that same old, see, they do things based on mind control. So they had that same old slavery music. So most black people down in Atlanta said, I didn't watch that shit, I'm tired of that shit. And I'm like, why would you be tired of it? But I realized it when I watched it myself, the entirety, they played it on last Sunday. I said, wait a minute, they are not rebelling against the information. They are rebelling against this fucking damn way this shit is put together. Because the whole thing was this, you know, that old slave damn music. You know, that old same old slavery music. And the people got tired of that. It was interesting. When they was explaining the damn Revolutionary War, they had the drums beat. You know, real heroic. When they got back to the slave thing, it was that, that old shit there, you know. So people were rebelling against that energy that was put against it. And they didn't understand. It's very key, you see. A very key clone out here that you can tell is a clone is George Foreman. Now, if you get the movie When We Were Kings and study the man on the movie, because a lot of times we can't remember, you know, 10 years ago or whatever. And if you study the man in the Mute movie and then study the George Foreman now, it's two different entities. One is a damn fool. This new one is a doggone white man grinning, Meineke, hamburger eating. You understand what I'm saying? All just, you know, that's a clone. The other brother was a regular black person, and even if you do change, you don't change a lot to the point where your whole demeanor change. That lets you know that they got to that brother and changed that brother. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, gone. They gone. You gotta, this is stuff you gotta accept these days. Gone. Two different people now. You see what I'm saying? Two different people. This is very key. In my hometown of Mullen, South Carolina, they had 20, I don't know if I said this the last time. Sometime, I think it was in April or May, they had 27 deaths in a town. No, they had 27 deaths in like, in a town. There's 6,000 people. You see what I'm saying? And that's black and white, but they had 27 deaths. So that ought to let you know that that's manufactured. And it has nothing to do with, just a random thing. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Go and see the movie. I think it will be coming on video soon, The Truman Show. The movie The Truman Show, I think it should be on video. This is the ultimate movie of the black man and black woman in America. But see, they threw you off. You thought it was a Jim Carrey movie. And you know, you thought it was just the same old funny stuff. This movie is about a guy that grew up on a TV set, but he thought the TV set was the whole world. But it was only an illusion, and the people knew that he didn't know that it was the real, that it was fake, but they would come there, and that was their job, to make him think that he's staying in this whole world. But one day, that's just like a dead nigga. Think everything. But one day, an incident happened, and it started bringing his consciousness. I think his father died at an early age, when he was at an early age, and then the father bust back on the TV set because the father was mad that they fired him. So he see his father when he's grown and realize his father's not dead. And he start putting 1 and 2 together. And basically, over the course of the movie, his consciousness starts to growing, and it has to take the producers. They have to have a much greater effort just to keep this facade up and to keep him dead. But his consciousness is rapidly gaining. You see what I'm saying? Fake wife, fake everything. It's also in a song. Talking Heads did a song, Once in a Lifetime, back in like 1980. They say, sometime you might ask yourself, is this my wife? Is this my house? You see, which goes with the same thing. Who am I? Am I really who I am, and am I all I ought to be? You know, Maulana Karenga used to say the basic fundamental question, who am I? Am I really who I am? Or am I all I ought to be? Well, this movie, he finds out in the movie that it's more and more, he finds out that it's fake. And one point where he's walking down the street and this light fixture falls, and he picks it up and it has the word serious on it. You see. But anyway, he looks up and the creator of the show is up in the moon. If you look, he was look up in the moon, and you can look in the moon, and the creator's up in the moon watching. And they almost, to make sure that he did not find out about himself, they almost went to the point they was ready to kill him to make sure that he didn't leave the TV set. But the whole world was watching this thing. So you got to see the movie. The movie is awesome. The Truman Show. And it should be, it was out this summer, but it should be coming to the video, on video in the next couple of weeks. You see, so you got to get that particular one. Anyway, we know that we're home free for the simple fact, like not only did I tell you about the black hole last night, but on the other hand, and I don't know if I mentioned this, I think I was up here.
Our books are made for people who don't just read stories, they live them. From the very...
Up here. I don't know if I was up here the last time. When did I come the first time? April what? Oh. April 12th. Okay, on April 23rd, the white boys around the world, all these occult people around the world, and you some niggas that do it too, because we all think everybody. They had a worldwide ritual and a meditation to save the earth. Now, April 23rd, as you know, at the same time that the Dogon did the Sikhi ceremony, the sacred dance, to end the world. And they said any time after this is what is called a null period, which means it's a leftover residue. It has to peter itself out. So to let you know that this is some serious stuff, and they were getting more and more to their death, they went and had a ritual to save the earth. Which comes to tell you that their time is up anytime that they got to go and get a ritual worldwide. You know, they got niggas up in there too, because there's only a few people in the world that know that this crack is the devil. And we lose more and more of them every damn day. My point is, they got, you know, they always got to put the black person in there as a battery. Because that's the person that the energy that they use. They're vampires. They use his energy. They say, you don't say you don't want the earth to end, so therefore we can have some time. Because it's not up to the white people. So they had this worldwide shit, you know, they got all the people from India and some brothers from the continent and, you know, all over the world. And they just meditation and this ritual and shit so that they somehow reduce or actually renew this old cycle. It's in the movie Dark Crystal, which is a movie everybody should have in their fucking home. You should own that movie, The Dark Crystal. Jim Henson, you think it's a Muppet movie, but it's the key movie. Anyway, they had this world meditation. Now, in Atlanta, since 96, they've been having this whole life expo. I think they have it in several places around the country where they have all these metaphysicians and all these particular people, herbalists, and all these people that work with crystals, black and white. They go there and they have this expo, and this expo is a thing. In actuality, the whole life is basically to try to save the damn world of heal the earth. Any shit you ever hear some motherfucker talking about healing the earth, you run from that shit. You see what I'm saying? Healing the earth, that's bullshit. That ain't prophesied. It's the thing how, and it's the funny part about how we can read all of this shit at the end talks about an end. This shit leave it. But yet, we get some charlatan to come in talking about saving the damn earth and healing the fucking earth. How the hell you gonna heal the damn earth? You see Torchlight for America and Savior. Anybody talking about saving the fucking earth? You know that that's some bullshit. Either
Okay, man.
it's a genuine person that has not studied enough and does not realize that the earth is going to be here, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be here in the physical. See where I'm coming from? So, but because everything is not based, your reality is not all based on physical. This is just the illusionary part of the whole game. So these white people are now talking about save the earth. That's the whole shit now. Because their asses is lit now. So anybody talking about save the doggone earth, and the stuff that they say that's destroying the earth, they call that the demonic power. Or the satanic power. Now you get it. You see what I'm saying? It is contradictory even to Christianity. You see what I'm saying? No religion talks about the earth is going to be the same. The earth is going to be here because the earth was here in the beginning. In the beginning, before there was anything, before there was God that was ruling the universe, the earth was here.
Where you from?
Or Gaia. In the beginning, there was Gaia, or Tiamat. You want to know where the great mother is? The great mother became a physical earth. That's what they call her, Mother Earth. So she was here before God. God didn't create the earth. God created a physical casket or a physical tomb for his mother. You see what I'm saying? God did the creator. Fuck the creator. But then again, I read and I study and I know this shit, so anybody want to debate me on this thing, we can go right to any text. You find any fucking text, and we'll go to the text, and we'll show you that the creator used the mother to create this thing, but that's a casket, it's a tomb. That's the whole Osirian drama, that's the whole Greek thing, that's all of that. So, saving the earth, that's all. But these crackers is talking about saving the world. That's the shit. Anytime they talk about saving the damn... Now, here go a cracker that's spending his whole life tearing up the damn earth. Killing everything. And all of a doggone sudden, he's talking about saving the earth. That's why George Bush and them didn't agree to that shit. See, George Bush and them knew if they're going to be a new change, we the crackers, we want to be in on it. We the Illuminati. They knew that it was futile. So remember in 92, they had this whole Earth Summit. And the only person that did not go to the Earth Summit or either join the whole shit or make the pact was the United States government. You see what I'm saying? And they didn't make it because they automatically knew, you know what I'm saying? Why prolong the inevitable? Well, we're going to try to prolong it, but ultimately, we need to be trying to get to the other realm. So that's why all this John Glenn's wrinkle ass is up there in space and stuff, which it ain't gonna work. You see what I'm saying? But my point is, they didn't join the Earth Summit for the simple fact that they knew you can't save no damn Earth. The Earth is already here. The Earth is gonna be here. You talking about the physical summit, and the physical is degenerating. So they say you're gonna burn up in hellfire. Anytime you put some water on a piece of tin and you go back and it's rusted, that means that the atoms is burning up. The earth, since it was created, was in a constant state of burning up. That's what the degeneration of the physical does. It burns up and it regenerates. But the earth is always in a constant state of burning up. You see? So this whole thing with this earth thing is all based on these crackers trying to fool people. So now we got black people talking about Mother Earth and fuck all that shit. Mother Earth wants out. Because Gaia, or what you call Tiamat, or Newt, or Apit, or Apep, is ever trying to penetrate heaven. You just got to read more into it and quit speaking based on feeling and speak on what you know. And most people are taught a certain doggone way. So it's very key that you understand that at this particular time. Go get the movie Phantoms, the movie Deep Rising, because the Deep Rising is a form of the Leviathan, the serpent. You'll see that in the particular movie. Fallen, Azazel. They say Azazel want to take the earth. Go and get that. Azazel is a form of Tahuti, or a form of Prometheus. or a form of Ionis, and basically a world teacher that taught man civilization. And because he taught man the arts and science of civilization, he was pinned to a stake and became the enemy of God. Because God wanted man to be ignorant. So he is also Samuel the serpent. He wanted man to be ignorant because he understood that man was more advanced than he was. You've heard this story before. Anybody is unclear about this thing, raise your hand and we can explain this thing one little bit. This is what's happening. This creation story that you have with the basically we come by our creation story based on the Judeo-Christian thing. Even if you newly found is Islamic or newly found Egyptian. We only get the creation part, but there's another part before creation. And what they don't tell you, in order for the earth to be created, they had to overthrow the great mother.
Don't know.
But as a result, after they overthrew the great mother ends up becoming man down here. Because the substance that they used, that they killed, the substance that they burnt the great mother up, they burnt her substance up. That substance they used to create man. So automatic, because the great mother is before God, man and woman becomes higher than God. And if you want to deal a little bit lighter, if you can't deal with that, we're talking about one cycle overthrows another cycle. Then the other cycle gets old itself, and the cycle they overthrew is now regenerated, but these other motherfuckers don't want the new cycle to come in because they want to rule. It's simple as that. So God is the enemy in the sense of what you know God as. That's a subordinate deity that is a jealous God. Why is he jealous? He's jealous because he understands there's something higher than him. Otherwise, what are he going to be jealous of you for? You see, so you got to get the whole story. So we are hiding him because the light that he used, that he stole from his mother to create this earth,
I don't know.
was
I probably
stolen
won't
from
eat till
him
later.
by Prometheus, by Tahuti, by Azazel, the entities stole the light from him, or by Lucifer, that brought the light to earth. And as a result, that light was bestowed upon us. So the primordial light that he was created from, that he used to create creation, we now have that in us. There's different stories that talk about this. In the Greek thing, Zeus overthrows his parents. Then he overthrows his uncles and aunts, which is the Titans, which is gods before him, called chaos gods. They burn the Titans. Then the Titans go and kill Zeus' son, Dionysus. Eats, cooks him, and devour him. Then so Zeus gets mad and burns the Titans up, and the ashes from Titan he uses to make man out of titanium ash, which is melanin. But Dionysus, his son, who had the light, because this was the light that created him, he gave the light to his son because the Titans ate Dionysus, and both man is made up of both Dionysus, which is Osiris, or Osir. Man is made up of Dionysus and the Titans, which is Set-Typhon. Together, he's made up of both parts. We got the divine essence down here. Now, the Hermetic text, because nobody really reads Hermetic thought, but you can't get Hermetic. You can't get the Egyptian thought from the Egyptian pantheon because they separate the thought. If you want to get true Egyptian thought or pharaonic thought, you got to go get the Hermetic material.
6:55.
There's one called Hermetica. Walter Scott. There's a new one now called Hermetica Copenhagen. And in that, we also talk about this particular when they burnt Dionysus all up, and both of us consume both energies, the Dionysian energy and also the Titanian energy or the Titan energy. We have both in us, the both energies inside of us. So therefore, it says in the Hermetic text that the God that rules the earth, which is Yahweh, Zeus, in Yahweh in Hebrew, Jehovah in another form of Hebrew, Zeus in another part, Zeus in Greece, Marduk in Samaria, and Ra in Egypt. They have the power to nourish the earth, because it's talking about that sun out there. But do not have the power to nourish all of creation, because there's another form of creation, which is the chaos creation. They say that the most divine spirits who have the power to overrule rule the universe is now living on earth, inner ground, inner circle. That's what you call hell now. So it's all the way backwards.
The online energy medicine trade.
I figured that. I knew that different gods were ruling different parts. I figured that.
It's all the way backwards. You can find
Yeah, I
that
appreciate
also
you,
in that
Master.
book, From Fetish to God. I was just recapping on that. From Fetish to God also, they talk about Ra overthrowing Apep. Also in another book, a book by I think it's called Meeks. The name of the book is The Everyday Life.
Thank you.
It's called the book is called the Daily Life of the Egyptian Gods. The Daily Life of the Egyptian Gods, or the Everyday Life of the Egyptian Gods. I think it's the Daily Life of the Egyptian Gods. In that book, in that book, say, 1994, they found the original coffin text, which is the stuff that was made before the creation of Ra, and come to find out Ra is a tyrannical ruler that killed all the damn gods because he wanted to rule. He invited all the gods to a banquet and swallowed them all up in his stomach and then cut their heads off.
Thank you.
So in actuality, this particular coffin text that was destroyed by certain priesthoods shows you that Ra is an enemy of the gods. Now, Amun-Ra is different because Osiris is dead in a mentor, but he rises up because he takes the energy of Ra plus the energy of the triple blackness of space, and he rises up as Horus, Ra Heru Kahuti, or Har-Ma-Ku, which is Amun-Ra, which is a different entity than Ra. Ra just means that sun out there, a hologram. You see them, a hologram. So this is things that you need to also deal with. Also get your Dark City. You got to own Dark City. This is a movie, one of the greatest movies, occult movies ever came out. As well as
I
Never
appreciate
Ending
it.
Story and different other things, In the future, get you some, also, this is what you need to do to clean out the house, too, is to get you either some Duke Ellington, some Ella Fitzgerald, somebody who's passed on. Anytime you get an entity that's passed on, and especially, see, a lot of times we get the newer people that we associate with, but see, you got to realize you have people that made this new vogue of music in the 20th century, and from that new vogue of music came the modern jazz, funk, and all that. But so anybody that passed on becomes an avatar. So therefore, people like because jazz came out of ragtime. So if you get like your boy, like what's your boy that did the Sting, Scott Joplin. But then again, on the other hand, the stuff that Duke Ellington and them created was a new vogue from that. So this is classical shit. So if you get you some Duke, you can't go wrong. Or some Ella Fitzgerald. Anybody can break down glass when they're in the physical body. What you think about a spirit when she leaves the physical body and not contained in the physical shell? That means it's a much more powerful force. And every time I play the Duke or the Ella, the whole energy in the house changes. And all negative shit that's up in there, get the hell on, because this damn woman is hollering. And there's a good one for $31. I figure it's pretty cheap. You get like 60-something songs. There's like 3 CDs. Ella Fitzgerald's 75th anniversary came out in 1993, and it's like 60-something songs on 3 CDs. Or you can get in any kind of box sets and stuff like that. But get you some of that type of stuff. You know, your Count Basie, which was dealing with a jump jazz from the Egyptian goddess Hecate, or the Egyptian, or the Kemetic god Hecate, which is dealing with what is called a jump jazz, which in actuality is some Vodun energy. This is some real deal shit. So get you some what you'd call the classical jazz, brothers, and you can clean out the energy. Don't get no fucking Louis Armstrong. Fuck that nigga. See, Louis Armstrong, they saying is one of the greatest trumpet players of all time. But he had such a slave mentality that he neglected his talent just to sing a song for the cracker and grin. So that's a fucked up energy. Every time I go, I say, man, my spirit said, don't get that motherfucker there. Because he was such an Uncle Tom. So he even doggone transcended his own talent. And they say he's one of the greatest trumpet players of all times. Huh? Anybody that pass on. Miles, Coltrane. There's a good one, Duke Ellington and Coltrane. It's a good one. You see, so this is stuff you really put a certain amount of energy, dealing with a certain amount of energy in your space. Very key that you deal with that in that particular level. So now, let's see what we got here. First of all, I want to deal with something here because your boy Tyrone Powell said that in the Notes of Virginia about Thomas Jefferson said that in the Notes of Virginia that either we're gonna have to ship the Africans back or exterminate them. Now, I did some more research on this, and I come to find out that what he was actually quoting was the policy of the Freemason type group, probably the Scottish Rite or York Rite, or whatever that branch of Freemasonry. That's the policy of the Freemasons after they ousted the Moors from Spain. Was eventually they would have to put us back into slavery. You see what I'm saying? So when he said that, he was actually literally quoting the policy of his brotherhood. Either, you have to ship them back or eliminate them. So for the mere fact that they did not ship us back, that means from 1965, mainly 1975, the elimination process started with the cloning shit.
Why settle for fishing in calm waters? The recon trolling motor is tough enough to go wherever the fish are. In fact, the indestructible carbon.
You see what I'm saying? With the cloning thing. And so that's the policy. Plus, we know that even on Bill Cooper's radio show, when he had his radio show going, that even on his show, that they had this guy who was a 33rd degree Mason that came on in the spring of '93, and he said that it was policy that we'd have to put black people back into slavery. That's policy based on our Freemason charters. So that's exactly what he was actually dealing with at that particular time. Now, you got to understand the codex in scriptures, or you got to understand a play on words. You got to really check out what these white boys are saying. Now, Robert Anton Wilson has out a book called Everything is Under Control, which is the real deal occult book. All that Bill Cooper shit and all that stuff is bull. Although it gives you the history of the Illuminati, they are Christian-based, and so therefore they're not a part of the occult. Bill Cooper said that I wouldn't have problems with the Illuminati if I was included. The key is when it comes to Robert Anton Wilson, is Robert Anton Wilson is the brother coming in, or what he? Oh, okay. I'm just saying, hey, we ain't gonna turn nobody around, Oh, you just chilling? Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Anyway, Robert Anton Wilson is a part of the occult society. In his website, he says, I might be a government agent also. This is what he said. I might be. He said, who knows? I might be. I think that they're using me too. Now, how the hell you gonna think? That's like me saying, I think the government is using me. You know whether people using you or not. Anyway, in his book, Everything is Under Control is the real deal stuff, which just came out. Yeah. Which one is that? Oh, yeah. Everything is Under Control is the real deal book. Now. Yeah. Anyway, they can get it here. They can get it here. In there, under his section called Clones, he has 2 or 3 lines. Now, he's speaking in code. You got to understand this. You got to understand. If he says on the website that I might be a government agent too, you see, but he's a part of the occult realm, then you got to understand that the little thing that he has on Clone, about 2 or 3 lines, don't fit what he actually knows, but the 2 or 3 lines are phenomenal if you break down the science. And this is what he says. He has clones. Then he says, some gay people say that they go in fear of being cloned out of existence. Now this is a code word. First of all, go to any white bookstore and you'll see gay section and you'll see African studies section. So wait a minute, what the fuck is this? A gay thing is an alternative lifestyle. It has nothing to do with race, but that's the way they classify, because everything is classified. Like I was telling him about the bookstores. They would take 2 or 3 things in their occult. The occult is made up of astronomy, astrology, mythology, magic, metaphysics, and psychology. But each one of those have different sections. And they don't even have them right by each other. They have them different parts of the store. So therefore, you can't tap into all of the stuff until you put all this stuff together. You see, so you might go to the magic section, but then and then they got something called unexplained. So what they do is they separate things all over the place. But then again, on the other hand, classification is everything. That's how you learn. Now, in most of the bookstores, they'll have African American studies, or black studies, and they'll have gay studies right beside each other. Key is what he's saying in the book. First of all, gay is not a race. First of all, you can't detect gay people, because all gay people are not flaming homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? Flaming, which means dress wearing or lipless and all this. You got football players and shit in the NFL that's gay. Basketball players. You see what I'm saying? People in regular suits in society, you don't know who the hell gay, because that has nothing to do with race. You understand what I'm saying? Now, genocide is based on a race or identifying a people. Plus, majority of white people are asexual. You see that if you ever see porn videos and you see the amount of women you see, it's normal for them to be with other women. You see what I'm saying? And even in the porn industry now, they got about 15 black girls. It used to be 8 in the 80s. They got about 15 black girls, and they use them in all the videos. But they got like hundreds and hundreds of white women. You see what I'm saying? That ought to let you, but that ought to let you know that they are asexual, period. Bobby E. Wright talked about that. So obviously they was not talking about gay people for the simple fact that you can't distinguish on who is gay. He knows it's based on basic sociology, that don't add up. But it's a code word for the people in the occult to say that some gay people are feared that they are cloned out of existence. It's a code word for black people. If you understand that they lump black people and the gay people the same as the same ethnic group, based on classification. So he has that in the book, as well as the Moorish thing I was telling you about, as well as a lot of other things. Very key that you understand that at this particular time. Down south, now this is the key. The white boy needs his melanin every morning. Other than the melatonin, he needs a serotonin type thing to wake him up. So this is why in the 1990s, all these coffee shops start opening up. Man, Starbucks and all this shit. On Peachtree Street, they got 8 Starbucks. They'll have a Starbucks on one corner, they'll have one 2 blocks up. Now, why is this? That ain't including Barney's Coffees, Aurora Coffees, Chickaboo Coffee, Caribou Coffee, all this shit. Including down Texaco and McDonald's and every place there. There ain't a place you can go you can't get no damn coffee. The key is this coffee is highly carbonated because that's why it's dark. So it's a form of melanin anyway, but they're putting a serotonin form of melanin in the coffee, and that's why you see this thing is a big coffee house shit that's going on, epidemic. See what's going down? As a matter of fact, where's your metaphysical Bible dictionary? Because there's a big shit down in Atlanta. Where's that book?
Just behind your back.
It was. Did somebody buy it?
I bought one last night.
Oh, you bought it?
I bought one. It was for love. And I took it out.
Do you know what's actually in your tap water? My name is Johnny, I am an engineer, and I've been on a mission.
Okay. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that information. Let's see. Scorpio and Sag. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's see. Scorpio and Sag. Compatibility or information. Sag is going on to another level in life. Okay. And Scorpio is going to a deeper understanding of the levels realms you go to, right? Going dark. Let's see. Anybody have any other information for me to listen to? If I seen that's important, message me. We'll listen to it together. We got the King of Cups reverse. Pirate, dangerous. Rebellious boss. King of Swords reverse. Lies. Rebellious. Same thing. Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Knight of Pentacles reverse. Rebelling. That could be a good thing and that could be a bad thing. Okay. Miscommunication and jealous. No offerings. No citation, no ticket. Constables. Okay. Home. Not to your home. Stability, security. And I'm gonna see if this is what they're talking about, the government shutdown. Because I seen one mayor declared that they should not, the people jobs and stuff stop getting paid, that the people who own the apartment complex or whatever should not put anybody out of their homes till after we see this government shutdown, when people go back to get paid again. They're working on, Congress, I think, is working on getting it back together. Got Queen of Wands. So she's the mother energy, the guides, angels. She is protective, taking care of family. Okay. We got masculine energy up here. It could be not in a home, helping. Money-wise, Knight of Pentacles. She's standing strong anyway. Sagittarius. Leo, Aries. Ace of Cups. She's getting help from the creators. Ace of Cups. Giving to you truth, intimacy, love, security, helping hand. So the feminine energy will take control at this time. Five of Pentacles. Homely, sick, smart. She's very smart on bad times that come. Sitting on the street, she know how to struggle. If she has to, all kind of ways to make it. She has to let people stay, let the room and board, maybe feeding the homeless, getting food together to feed people, help people who's out of homes, whatever's going on, offering the services. Okay. See, the devil card want to come right back out. Keep coming, flipping up. Page of Wands, children as well. Sacred things, she knows how to do those things. Childish, free, foreigners, extraterrestrials, Egypt. Using her magic abilities, the Christ scenario syndrome, or of turning 2 fishes into a whole bunch of fish, 2 loaves of bread to feed however many people. Children, not children as well. She's a director, producer, expedition, just artifacts. The feminine energy as well. Some victims, because the kids are innocent, right? They become victims to what's going on, because the higher ups could care less about the children. Besides stealing their energy. King of Swords again, reverse. It says a blocked third eye. The King of Cups, the men, masculine energy. Is not, I think he said cinnamon, nutmeg, honey, cayenne pepper. I think that's what he says. Cinnamon, nutmeg, honey, cayenne pepper could help open your third eye. Abuse. So they might be panicking. Masculine energy, a lot of people, depend on the system. So I had the devil card come out where it was kept showing. I juggled it back in here. Page of Swords reverse. They don't see, no focus, hot-headed, complaining, a lot of baggage, complaining a lot during these times, not understanding that the world flips. It goes from famine to more than enough. And you have to plant seeds before that time. You got to know that already, that that's going to happen. It's not going to be abundant all the time. I've been here a while, and I definitely know that. Been through this before. Okay. Yeah, so they're not understanding that. A lot of devices, things people are depending on. You don't need anything but yourself and your family, if you got a good family, to get through these times. Without using people. 7 of Swords to get through these times. You don't have to steal, kill, destroy. You don't have to get arrogant, imposter syndrome. You can, if you already know that the world is up and down, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to panic. and do things out of hand. You're supposed to already have a set mindset on, okay, this something may happen. It has in history. That's the way the world's, with duality, yin and yang, it's going to happen. So prepare ahead of time. That way you won't be panicking when that time come. If you haven't been there for your kids, it would be a good time to be there for your children. If you just bring in, make sure they have some food to eat, water to drink. Playing outside with them. If you're in a situation where lights and stuff is off, teaching them things, what you've learned. Hanging out with them. Showing them different ways, learning yourself, because kids can teach you a whole lot of stuff as well. Stuff in the future that's going to happen. It will happen. You might can't travel. Travel might be messed up. Instead of getting frustrated, worried about a job, being a villain, it's the stealing part. Finding out ways, putting stuff to the side. Because after everything is over, they'll find a way to capture you or take you out while you're trying to steal. You want to feed your families. That could be a big concern for the males as well as the females. But, nothing is promised, okay? Jobs ain't promised. As long as they're pulling the strings, they like to play with us. And, yeah, they like to play with us. And so you got to be 10 steps ahead of them, so you won't take yourself out, take your family out, frustrated. Because when you think about it, why are you doing that? You letting fear take control for one, program for another one, but you panicking on something that's maybe temporary. It's going to happen. Joseph, I talk about that all the time. Famine and plenty. So what did he do? He stored up a whole bunch of stuff. Well, people all around the world came to Egypt to get food because the famine hit, but they had already prepared. So they was able to take land, to take resources, everything from the people of other countries because they had already prepared for that. These things going to happen. Can't depend on the elite. They already set up. That's why they got the underground bunkers. They can go on the moon or wherever else they go up there, the Umbrella Academy. Study that. Look back in history. They're setting up their stuff. They setting up for their children's. Yeah. It's been all through history. Even if we don't have this famine, setting up things in the neighborhood for the children, for yourselves. Make sure everybody get their bills paid, get whatever, food. You don't have to go to anybody else's neighborhood. You can have that set up. The neighborhood's taking care of their own self. Helping each other out, which they did not want us to do. They want us separated, scared of each other. Yeah, even hard times when sorrow hit, hit the world. It's gonna happen. because they like to see how we react. And then you think about the waste. How much waste we've been doing it. We've been doing it to ourselves, right? Being greedy, glutton, uh, taking too many showers, using too much water, um, contaminating the water, polluting, all that stuff. Okay. Um, we are the world, like Michael Jackson said. We are the children. Now, I understand he said we should be trying to get out of here or not save the world, destroy the world. There's going to be a time for that as well. But until that time, you know, we have to go through what we go through. So go through it. It's not going to be forever because it's always changing. But it's also karma. You know what I'm saying? It's also karma. Those that have a lot of elite is going to be hit too. Yeah, I see that now, the burnings in California, you know, different other stuff going on. Storms, whatever, it don't discriminate. There's a time to develop your skills, get to know your family, should be planning things, have it in your house if you can't have it outside. So what's survival food of Mother Nature? What did our ancestors do? You know, really getting off into researching now, because it's going to happen. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Isolating yourself when you have to, and it's also within you as well. Dark night of the soul, lights out, whatever, what you're going to do, how you're going to survive without any lights, electricity, with all that, you know, storms coming through, you know, researching that ahead of time, knowing that you're always going to be taken care of, but you have the knowledge now, you know, to get it together. Can't always be complaining to the God of this earth, because the God of this world, the gods, they want to be worshipped. They want the energy. They want the sacrifice. So you're wasting your time waiting on that, because, like it says, you're a god, you're a goddess. You've been tricked. So what would you do as a god? You would make sure your family and your kingdom or whatever, if it's a good god, good king, good emperor, would take care of their kingdom, right? The star. Yeah. Telling, speaking the truth. What are you going to do when there's, how are you going to heal? Can't get to the hospitals. Say you have diabetes, you have whatever. What Mother Nature plants cures that? What can you use for a substitute if there's no way you can get to the hospitals and no way to heal yourself? Before hospitals came, what you do? What did you do? You know what I'm saying? What did our ancestors do? They tried to discredit the women that were healing, called them witches and everything else, because they wanted to take control of the healing so they can make money and bottle it up, pharmacies or whatever, and you have to constantly come back. They only feed you a little bit, but they also add other sicknesses onto the medication, so you'll keep coming back. So when everything's shut down, you will be able to find out before the internet now, books, before the library closes or whatever, word of mouth, how to survive, how to cure yourself, you know, those situations, breathing, things you could do. If no electricity, how would the person on the breathing machine live, you know, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Um, Five of Swords says you need to get out your ego. But ego is also good in like taking care of, you know, standing up for yourself. Standing up and realize, okay, we going through this, you know. Um, Preparing your kids, preparing your family. Okay, we have to pick up the pieces. We have to do the best we can. Okay, you can't have fast food anymore. We might not be able to go to the stores. We have to eat smaller portions. You know, ball out water. Uh, you know, different stuff when things arise. You know, how do you calm them down? There's different teas that Mother Nature has, her plants that can calm the kids down. If they got ADD, whatever that stuff is, that they have them on medications, you can have Mother Nature's plants, give them some teas, you know, have them eat different certain fruits and vegetables or Mother Nature's plants that'll calm them down. They won't be so erratic, you know. Research all of that now. Um, Six of Cups, yeah, generational curses. It's been happening. Your family been through it. Your ancestors been through it. The ancestors not going nowhere. Ask them. They'll let you know. They'll guide you into that. You know, what to get, what not to eat, what to eat. Okay? Yeah, they ain't going nowhere. They, you know. Also protection. You know, for those that might be erratic and want to steal what you got, you know. You offering them, look, I'll share with you, you know, but you're not going to come here and take shit from me. You know what I'm saying? And then you got those that they're going to put out clones and different other robotic or whatever, making people erratic. They have programs to come at you for no reason. Are you prepared for that? People on drugs, they're making them zombies. They see you be able to clean your system out from all the nano robots and all that in the food and the water and making you a zombie. You know, is this a time for cleansing by not being able to go to the stores, programming on the job. You having anxiety, depression. You know what I'm saying? You don't like where you work, don't like what you do. See, you can ease your mind. So it's like a vacation time in a way. But preparing for the famine, for whatever may come, storms, uh, inventions, um, flooding. What can you do better to survive boat wise? You know, if you got the water coming through in the rain, it's gonna get on the boat. It's gonna part. You know, make it go down. What can you do so that won't happen? You know, you know, different stuff like that. Where is a safe place now that you can go if that happens? You know, is it time to leave your town at that time? Or is it time to stay there and fight? Do you know how to use your power to stop the storms from coming? Or taking your house if you can't stop your whole neighborhood or the city, you know, stuff like that, putting your hand up, doing stuff like, you know. So you always have plenty. And it's the neighborhood as well, this family, getting together, helping each other, King of Wands, being in charge, visionary, confident, right? A good leader. See, turn it around. Instead of being afraid of what's coming, working together, the masculine and feminine, and then you get to see how they pulled us apart. You know, how they pulled you apart. How you came stuck on money or position or put all of that before family. Put a car for a family. You know, some men love their car more than they do their wife or their children. You know, clothes is all that important now to you. getting the best looking clothes, the best looking high price, whatever, and you don't have a home paid for, you don't have a car paid for, but you're getting all these high price clothing, bills ain't paid, hair done every day, buying all these wigs and not appreciating your natural hair. I'm not saying anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, in some ways, that it's time for introspection. You know what I'm saying? That gives you time to really think about what you've been programmed into the matrix. You know what I'm saying? And really see this is a time for that. Really coming together and helping each other. What they did not want us to do. Yeah, staying strong. It's time to be strong. Stronger together than apart. Talking to your kids. Like I said the other video, meetings. What do y'all feel about stuff? They could be scared. They could be afraid. People always think that children don't matter and they don't have any say so. I don't know who told that lie. Remember when you were young? After the storm. You know what I'm saying? Did you feel unappreciated? Parents didn't listen to what you had to say? Probably could have saved a lot of them lives, helped them out, whatever the deal may be. They wanted to discard you. Okay, this is a quiet storm. Now that could be, we were talking about the Civil War, trying to get you against your neighbor. Okay, then you got your animals. How you gonna feed your animals? So you want to become a cannibal or eat your animals? You know what I'm saying? Do you know how to eat? Do you know how to not eat so much meat? Because back in the days, our ancestors only ate meat at certain times, like maybe once or twice a month, and they smoked it, put it out in the sun. They ate buffalo and quail because those two things, it keeps you in your right mind. It keeps you strong. But they ate vegetables and fruits and Mother Nature's plants and, all of that and stayed strong and healthy. They didn't have no sickness and diseases. If they did, they know how to cure that. Snake venom, they know how to do that. Use snake venom for healing as well. But snake bites, they know how to heal that. Things that we don't know, researching now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever this quiet storm is going to be, could hit through the night, could not. How you prepare for that? Yeah, look at all this pumpkins and eating up, making, if you like wine or whatever, drinks or water, whatever, you learn how to do moonshine. How you can, Mother Nature's plants also makes wine and, stuff like that, and staying happy regardless, because they want to take your happiness away. Remember that, okay? They're making this to make you depressed so they can feed off your energy. That's how they stay in power. That's number one. You be wanting to sell your soul. You want to sell your kids' soul so you can have some money, and they're liars and cheaters, right? And they gonna be upset because we knowing this, because I'm saying this, okay? And then some people, okay, dinner table, might not have that big feast anymore at the table like I was talking about. And this is also collecting. It's collecting things for future situations. And also, they waiting for you to die, for you to sell your soul, like I said, blood sacrifices. This is collecting souls, blood, human flesh, bedposts, collecting things. Okay, you already know it's a setup. They waiting for you to die, or they need the blood, they need the energy. But if you know already downsized yourself, start now. 3 meals a day is a trap. And then snacks all in between is to keep you heavy. Is to keep everything not flowing in your body. It gives you a lot of problems, medical problems. And that way you going to the doctor, right? Because you done clogged up your arteries. You done clogged up everything. You know, you only eat when you're hungry. You don't have to eat. And if you have a greed of eating all the time, you check yourself. Because you don't need all of that food. It's going to make you overweight. It's gonna, if it don't make you overweight, it's gonna make you sluggish. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be productive like you should be. You know, this way you take walks, you can be active, you know. So don't look at the famine as a bad thing. You look at it as a good thing to help clearing out. You ain't gotta go work that day. You can chill, you get some sleep. You know what I'm saying? So you can take your time, but also watching, you know, I wouldn't too much trust the, I don't know, government's help. You can help yourself. Okay. The communities helping communities. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, out of the matrix. Talking about why you got a side piece, what made you do that, are you in the right marriage? Really talking about that, you know, because you want to stay happy. Threesomes, why do you need that? Why are you oversexed? Do you have incubus succubus in you? What are your generational curses? Teaching your kids about the generational curses so they won't have to go in there, be doing the same thing, make another generation of robots and slaves to the system. You know, what type of magic that you can use for its money magic, for its protection. What did our ancestors do to make sure we get the proper rain, our crops to grow, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it could be a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Not a bad. Cloaking your family, cloaking yourselves for anything to come around. I think Aleister Crowley, I can't think of this man I was talking about. He cloaked his whole house, his whole land. They couldn't mess with him, but his son let him in and that's how they got the man, his child. So why, what made your child turn against you? Is somebody, they controlling them? You know, what happened, you know, to make y'all be separated like that? You know, it's time for really good introspection on your whole life. Then you can tell who's throwing the witchcraft, who's not throwing the witchcraft. Love spells, death spells. See, we started, you know, well, ancestors, some of them, started these rituals, the gods, you know, feeding the gods. I thought that was the right way. They were programmed. Hey, Napoleon. And learning how to use that to protect your family, learning how to keep it away from your family. Then you could tell if you're under a spell, you know, and which most of us are or were. A lot of good things could happen out of this, you know. So don't look at it as, you know, and then who are you showing off to? Because there's nobody better than you, you know. There's nobody better than you. And this all, don't be no fool. Acting like a fool. It's just gotta go, a warning. Like I say, portal, dimensions, wormholes, magic. Can you do that? Finding out more about that. How can you get to another realm? How can you? They doing it, you know. Eight of Swords, frustrated, stuck, lost, trapped. Victims. Do you want to be a victim? Queen of Pentacles. Focus, security, business, boss. Or you want to be a boss? How do you make money? How do you, for when the famine or whenever this silent storm ends, you know, maybe finding things on your land. Now the government wants to seize the gold, but why would you tell them? You know what I'm saying? Learn to be more secretive. Stop getting on the internet and showing everything you find, everything you do. That could be the purpose of it's getting shut off, to get your minds back in order, right? Yeah. Making everything go in your favor now. That's helping each other. It's going to be a dark road, Sagittarius energy. But you can do it. Just realizing that you've been, I'm going to say this word, overindulging. That way you can find out, damn, I've been wanting all this stuff. How many cars can I drive? How much food can I eat? How many houses, you know what I'm saying, can I have? Do I really need all this stuff? You know, helping people, helping others. You know what I'm saying? That becomes important, because what if you do lose your house? What if you do is you got somebody that you've been making fun of? They might be the main ones that help you. They could or could not. But what if they do? And you can look down at these people because you upper class or elite or whatever the deal is. Say you'll be brought low. So, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. Gotta tinkle. Remember, it was a time back when the landlords didn't care, and they were putting people out on the street. Now, if everything's shut down, can't go to court, you have to wait and find somewhere to stay. They could put locks on the door and all of that stuff. You have a valid case of if the mayor or governor of their state is telling them not to put you out. But you got some that will do that anyway. You know, where you gonna go if they do, how you gonna survive, you know, different things you need to know. What is the system? Do you have somebody you can go to? Can you live out in the wild, out in the streets, where you won't get harassed by the police? Where's the safe places? You know, a lot of things to consider during these times we're gonna go through, and some is going through right now. Some still being affected from storms long time ago. A lot of people still not without lights, decent water, food, you know, nowhere to lay their head. You know what I'm saying? Banks closed. Can't use your ATM. How you trade? You know what I'm saying? The preppers say keep change around. I've been talking about that. Preppers been talking about it for the longest because it happens all the time. How you gonna trade? You know, do something for them. Do they line more? I mean, whatever they need, prepare. You're using your expertise and helping. You know, different ways you could do that. You know, watch their kids for them. I don't know, whatever. You know, some people trust that. You know, say some people still have a job that is open, and can't get to the babysitter. Babysitter daycare is closed. You know what I'm saying? Helping each other. I mean, so many ways you can do it. You know what I'm saying? To help each other, for things to work out in your favor. People helping people. Yeah, when there's no money, 7 of Pentacles around, and the Creator making sure you have whatever you need, whether it's finding money, whether it's not any money. People helping with trading. I got some rice, you got some beans, you got a barbecue pit, I got some lighter fluid, I got some coal. You know what I'm saying? Who like the barbecue? Who like to cook? You know, whatever. Yeah, can't go to work, right? Still being abundant. Things still working out in your favor. It's after the storms and silent storms. 6 of Cups. Yeah. Making a decision to move out of your neighborhood, back in your neighborhood, around people you know, care about you. That's why I used to like my old neighborhood, because even the stores had black stores back then still, you know, and we didn't have to pay. You know, they would like, y'all take what y'all need, you know, enough for your families. Don't be greedy, glutton, and we can come in there and get what we wanted. You know, we did stuff like that. So I really liked that neighborhood, but it was programmed to be taken over. And it's that way right now. And I had to be removed from the neighborhood, so that may happen to you. You know, you gotta know, you know, if the neighborhood is being taken over. So you gotta know, you know, even moving from your families. You know, it's all kind of families, and not your immediate family. Could be people you meet that's a family, you know. All type of ways to be family. So yeah. Next door neighbor to your left, could be some help. Next door neighbor to your right. FBI building, your brother Pisces. Life of luxury, game, airplanes, playing games, if you could or not. Taking airplane trips. If you have money, maybe you win. Who knows? Who knows what may happen? You know, don't doubt. Says Germans. Take care of your health, your mind. Disengage from the world programming. Okay, this is going to be the time. The times like this from 2020 on. Before that, it was time to get your mind back in order from all the programming, you know, and putting all kind of stuff. Even the chemtrails dropping. They said the chemtrails was for to stop your kundalini from rising. You know, so you can stay up, you know, programmed. neighborhood behind you, all y'all participating. Let's throw mom and daddy from the train. Like I said about the programming of why your children this, why your children that. Are they being programmed? Who's putting witchcraft on them? What did you do? You know, what generational curse from father side, mother side. A lot of things could be done. This is boy, cousin, someone you know is still taking money under the table to take you out. Okay, now they'll be in famine as well. So, you know, they won't have no access. If the lights are off, you have no phone. They can't track you, right? So you have time to prepare, getting yourself, you know, whatever it may be. Who knows if the gasoline, the gas station is going to be closed. No gas. We've been through all of this already. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to need to stay and take care of their family or take care of themselves. Storms coming through. You know, you don't know how to create or block all of that. In-laws. Chevy. Okay, we got peace. Could be in-laws and y'all getting together and really appreciating each other if y'all didn't. I want to be and will be you. Aliens government is targeting your grandkids because they gifted. Yeah, really watching, you know, because like I say, we're still going to have shit going on. We know that. But it could be derailed because, you know, by everything, most people, everybody going to be mostly outside. So you'll be able to watch that, you know, watch your kids more instead of going to work every day. You know, if somebody was messing with you at work, you ain't there. You know what I'm saying? So everything could be a plus. Coming out of the sea could be a storm, who knows? Your clone wants your intuition, your soul, hired people to capture, experiment, take you out. Now, I was thinking about the clone thing. So what does a clone, how can you tell at that time that a person is a clone? That might be the time that you can really decipher who's a clone and who's a human. I was thinking about some signs. It would be the don't care attitude, the not taking life seriously, what's going on, pretending. You could see it. You could tell, just evil like, or if you can't tell, say for instance, I mean, they just not taking stuff serious, or they taking it too serious. What I was thinking about, study being messy, study causing problems. Now, you know, we got some that's human that haven't, their third eye not open, but you ought to be maybe tell the difference between those two. But still running around like everything is okay. Everything is still functioning. You know, it's a whole big old messed up everything going on. It's not really a positive attitude. It's more of a destruction attitude. Because they have no soul now, right? They're not real. So they don't feel what you feel. They don't mourn what you mourn. They can care less about your kids. They can care less about what's going on in your life, right? They don't want to help. Or if they want to help, it's for their benefit, to trick you in some type of way. You know, you'll be able to really see who is what. Cabbage Patch children, Cabbage Patch people grow up, right? You'll be able to see who is real and who's not. Because if everybody's going on a help each other, and that person is still on a fuck y'all, you know, I'm gonna get you, it ain't like it is, I'm all that, you know, I'm above y'all, you know, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? And they should be going through what you going through, a change, but this person is staying, people are staying the same. They might not be real, they might be clones, or might be a Cabbage Patch child, you know, with no soul, because they don't feel what you feel because they have no soul. You know, different ways you can kind of tell that a person is not real, still trying to stab you in the back, still trying to, you know, do different crazy shit, say they're a hitman or whatever, still trying to go through the neighborhoods and everything fucked up, barely having gas or whatever, trying to walk and still shoot or whatever after you, or something wrong with that person. You know, kind of deciphering who is real and who's not, who's demonic and who's not. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of yourself and protecting yourself, of course, but you'll be able to tell who was, because the Germans did a lot of, they're doing a lot of experiments, and they right here in the embassy. Germany has a place here. All the countries do, right? Embassy or whatever they call it. You know, a lot of the police during these times, they might not as patrol as much because they worried about their families, right? And not getting calls as they should. May have a generator or something like that, but cameras may not be working. You got some that maybe want to harass. Those are not humans. You know what I'm saying? They're not real. Because why would you kick somebody when they already down? And you're not worried about your family. So they might be, the whole family might be clones. You're just watching people. You know what I'm saying? Really paying attention during these times. That's how you can, you know, decipher what's real and who's on your corner and who's not. Did they turn your kids into clones? You know what I'm saying? Did they swap out your child for a Cabbage Patch baby? You know what I'm saying? Was that father, mother bloodline? Were they rapists, killers, serial killers? You know what I'm saying? You know, different stuff you can decipher during this time. Reading more to your kids, mysteries, different cold cases. I mean, a lot could be done during these times instead of just, woe is me, I don't have the latest thing, I'm not living like I used to live. Fuck that. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get you back. But you're gonna know who is real, who is selfish as well, and who is not. I remember my mama told me they was in their home had caught on fire, duplex, and she was worried about grabbing her baby and getting up out of there. And the woman next door, she was crying and crying. She didn't have now child. So the police went to her, and come to find out, they like, well, is your children inside? You know, blah, blah, blah. She said, no, my furs, my jewelry. You know, you can kind of see what's what. See people for who they is or not real. So, yeah. So look at this as a time of really checking everything out, preparing, because famine will happen, and then, you know, disease, whatever, how do you cure that, whatever the deal is, preventing it, storms, all kind of shit. Do you need to uproot your family and y'all hide? Where you gonna hide? Do you have that in place? Tornadoes, where you gonna hide on that? How you gonna protect y'all? Second chakra, sacral chakra, sensuality. I encourage myself to express my sensuality and emotions creatively using all my faculties, including touch, voice, and actions, and creative abilities such as art, drawing, crafts, music, acting, cooking, gardening, and writing. That's a whole lot of things for the kids could be doing besides on the computers, on them games, phones, and yourself. I practice being aware of and enjoying my senses being nourished and stimulated by the natural world, unprogramming yourself, such as by landscaping, people, weather, animals, aromas, and sounds. Yeah, deprogramming yourself. Okay. Second chakra, Scorpio energy, Taurus energy, well-being. I honor and respect my body by giving it what it deserves to thrive. I provide myself with the best food, exercise, water, relaxation, therapeutic treatments, and thoughts. And believe it or not, Mother Nature's plants are better than their store. More nutrients. That came from a laboratory where we go to the store and eat. I only consume foods and liquids that were designed by nature to be in my body. And thinking about it, why would we eat drinking bottled water? Do you test that water? I did a test with my grandbaby. She couldn't believe it that the tap water was more healthier than the bottled water. I stimulate my body's energy flow with exercise, ball in it, a little sprinkle of salt in it, whatever the deal is. I make time to rest, as stillness and tranquility are vital to keep my mind and body rejuvenated. You got time for some rest, taking some naps and stuff. Kids taking naps. Kids don't really take naps anymore. That's why they're all erratic, running around, you know. But anyway, that's what I got. That's Wolf of Sag and Scorpio, Sag. So it is what it is. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. I hope I helped in some type of way. All right, love y'all.